Welcome back to my Cindered Shadows side story walkthrough. This is going to be the second battle, Ambush in the Arena. And this is quite a large map that you're going to be fighting in. Just to give you a sense of that, on the map here, you've got 4 corners, all with their own tiles. You'll be working with 11 units instead of 7 like the last battle. You'll have the usual 7, which I have already covered there: Byleth, Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude, Ash, Linhardt, Hilda. And you are now joined by the Ashen Wolves students. That's Yuri, Constance, Balthus, and Happy. Your 7... shall I say Garrick, not Garrick, yeah, Garrick Mock students will start out in the lower right-hand corner, while the Ashen Wolves students start out in the center of the map. Now, I'd actually like to go over these units because they're a bit different than your regular units. For example, Balthus comes with his Hero's Relic, or Mysterious Relic, Vajra Mushti, which is really just a more powerful gauntlet. But it allows him to use Eviscerate, which is his own unique combat art. The difference here, however, is that Balthus is going to be your only grappler slash fist fighter. His abilities are also quite good. You can use Numa Gale, which you can only use if you're a war monk. You also have Constance, who is a dark flyer. She has access to some pretty nice spells. There's Fimbulventer, which is your ice spell, advanced ice magic, I should say. She comes with Fire and Sagittae, which you've both seen before. Bolting is probably the one you haven't seen. And this allows her to use lightning magic across the map. She only gets 2 charges, but this is pretty useful. Happy is going to be your second magic user. A Valkyrie. Valkyrie is basically Hubert or Lysithea on a horse. From the very start. She comes with Banshee, Miasma, Swarm, and Death. Now, Swarm is pretty good for any assassins or quick units. Banshee is good if a unit is going to attack someone else and needs to be stuck in place. Death is your usual critical. And then we have Yuri. Now, Yuri starts off with his, shall I say, it's not really a hero's relic, it's just a relic. Now, as long as he's got this equipped, he has increased movement. He can potentially move again, or he will almost always move again, as I've seen, after his turn is finished, and it can sometimes give you a Pavus Aegis benefit, which is what it means when it says it'll have damage. Something you may have noticed when you're looking at Balthus and Yuri is that they can both heal, but it's not very strong. So you still want to rely on Linhardt for your healing, although they can heal pretty decently in a pinch. Anyway, you've got a battle to fight, and this is going to take a while. So I'll start this battle now. Victory conditions: rout the enemy, or everyone falls in battle.
You following those shady. Other mercenaries are on their own. We'll need to take them on.
Right.
I will prevail.
Now I'm actually gonna have Edelgard. Now I've actually given her a hand axe, but that's not gonna be very useful against an assassin. So I'm actually gonna have her throw it.
Stay focused.
I'm going to occupy
I'll cut through.
Dimitri and Byleth.
Ready and willing.
I'm going to occupy those two squares. Gonna also hit that assassin.
I'll give it my all. That was tough.
Who, me?
And I'm gonna have Hilda take the last avoidance tile to avoid the others from being taken and being used against me. Now Balthus starts with his Hero's Relic equipped. Just for the sake of this, you can switch it off. I highly would recommend switching it off because it's not going to be very useful. Or shall I say, it's very useful, but it's also limited, and you don't get that many repairs for your relics. Don't be afraid to look at the spells you've got access
You'll
to.
not find it. I've been practicing that
And get
one.
used to each character.
You're
I can't kill him, so I'll stop
Sure
him
thing.
in his tracks.
Be careful who you choose.
Yuri's Mystery Crest
Don't
will
forget
allow
your
him to
dealing.
sometimes attack twice, as if he had an automatic advantage or gauntlet.
It'll be a shame. Couldn't weather the storm, huh?
You fought well. Now you know your limits. One step.
Now I'm actually going to highlight some of these units just to show something very important. You may notice that in the last battle, you encountered level 22 opponents, and Yuri was level 24, Balthus, whatever. Now you have regular enemies who are level 24. And this is what I meant earlier in the last video, the Skirmish and Abyss video. You want to make sure that your units get some pretty even distributions of experience, or else you're going to run into a situation where you discover the hard way that, well, your team is severely underpowered and one person happens to be overpowered. Avoid that as much as you can. It's going to be inevitable to some extent, but you don't want it to be a constant thing.
Can't get ahead of myself.
Only person and exception can be Linhardt, because his heal is not really dependent on anyone else. That being said, you never want this to, and I mean this seriously, get to a point where, for example, Byleth takes all the glory.
Well, how was that?
I'm actually gonna have Ash. Oh. Let's take out that
Easy peasy.
assassin. And I'll just have Constance wait at the ready.
Try to keep up.
This is probably the reason. Now, as you may remember, Yuri did say that he was baiting a lot of his... Not baiting a lot of his... He was tricking the mercenaries to start coming to him.
Each battle, a chance to grow.
Once you kill all the mercenaries on the map, the upper right corner will start spawning new
More
mercenaries.
visitor.
Remember that as you proceed, because this is going to happen for the upper right corner, the upper left, and then the lower left. This is going to take a while. Now, as you might have guessed or expected, there's no way someone like Edelgard is ever going to make it to the upper right in time. So I'm going to have Edelgard move a little bit. Gonna see who exactly is targeting Dimitri. Notice you've got armored enemies. I bought some anti-armor weapons for my units, and they should come in handy here. Let's see if I can take them out. I can't. So I am actually going to take it a bit easy and just wait. Oh, jeez. Got a lucky critical.
Let me at him.
Sure thing.
Guess I'm just gonna have to keep that in mind.
Yep. Sally forth.
I'll give it my all.
I will prevail.
I'll cut through.
Who, me?
Ready and willing.
Acknowledge my contribution.
Battle.
Then I
Stay
have quite a
focused.
few armored units, which means it's time for Armor Slayer
You fought well.
to make its appearance.
Another step.
Who's next?
Hilda! Hilda! Don't expect much.
Those units. Edelgard will continue moving. She's not going to be much of use. As you've probably noticed, she could barely even get to the map in time. Now, you probably wondered why I didn't just do that with Balthus and get up to that archer. Well, that would put me straight in the middle of these avoid projectiles, which my enemy is definitely going to use against me. Not a smart move. Also, now that you have the Action Wolf students, you're going to have to think about them as well as you factor them into your level up
Out of my
situation.
way.
Because they will be used. Also, they do come with their own battalion. For a very strange reason, they seem to have battalions that they probably wouldn't normally have access to, but that's not my concern. Or is it? I don't know. I mean, by only shot.
Even stronger than I look, yeah? Stronger the better.
Sorry.
Saw it coming.
This is exactly what I mean. This is the situation I tried to avoid because Balthus was going to be a sitting duck. Thankfully, I have magic. Not going to use bolting actually. Horribly. It's not. I only have 2 uses of it, so I don't want to waste it.
Should I have held back?
Dimitri is terrible with stairs as per usual. But what else was in there? Edelgard will still move across the map.
Try and stop me. It's good to be king.
Balthus will take out the archer. And Yuri coming to sweep this assassin off his feet.
Who's next? I'll never.
Now I'm actually going to leave him alive. Well, actually, no, I'm not, because Constance is now actually in danger.
It's not luck. It's fate. Thanks. Deep.
Oh, we had.
There are a lot of units that come with each wave. Expect this battle to take a while. As always, look at the danger zone and see if you can do anything to move out of it as much as you can to avoid drawing too much attention to yourself. As you can see, Yuri can heal, but it's not a whole lot. Linhardt is a much better healer, and it's preferable that he spend his time there. Yeah, what the heck? I'm gonna rally.
Thanks, pal.
Fatal Guard is still gonna make her way up. Really, the strategy for these battles is simple. Just let the enemies come to you or rush them, depending on how many are left and your circumstances. Heal with Linhardt, but if you can't, Yuri and or Balthus, and then just have your students whittle down the enemies one step at a time.
Each battle, a chance to grow.
It was a good try. Face it, I'm better than you.
If any unit gets into too much trouble, there is a heal tile in the center of the map that you can make use of, or take advantage of in this case, should things get a little out of hand.
Is that all? I'm getting...
Let me at him. Even stronger than I look, yeah?
With 11 units
Strong.
and some good planning, you should not have much of a problem taking down the enemy.
I'm all sweaty.
I shall rise, but your day is past.
Run in with Linhardt. Decide who needs a heal. There aren't that many units now, but don't forget we have one more corner.
No biggie.
Remember what I said earlier about the armored units? Happy and Constance are your two most reliable ways to get past it. I would like to say Linhardt, but he's more of a healer than a magic damage dealer. And you really don't want to be in a situation where you rely too much on Linhardt to be your magic user.
That's the stuff. It's good to be king.
Adorable smile for me. Who's next? I'll never be...
I'm impressed.
Got one more unit to face off against. Gonna have her wait right here because I don't want her. I don't want a fortress knight targeting my students. I mean, a magician targeting my fortress knight. Whew, that really did a number. On Claude.
Thanks for that.
Fortunately, Dimitri could take down that cavalier, but I've got that mage to worry about.
Over already.
You lost to me?
And now the final round.
All right. Where's the
Jeez, what?
This is where sending Edelgard has its advantages. Time to quickly back her up. As always, don't forget you can always use Divine Pulse. It's easy to forget the heat of things, but sometimes you really need a reminder that none of your decisions are definite and you can rewind time.
Now you know your limits.
Edelgard is able to splendidly hold her
That
own,
won't do it all.
but she got a bad level up.
I thought I smelled fresh blood. The worms will feed that sword awaited you in the holy mausoleum.
Now the Death Knight's going to appear, and well, he's going to. He may attack you as well, but he's mostly going to try and kill. You want him to kill the other enemies in the room. Emphasis on, well, that's what you want. But sometimes what we want doesn't always come true. Anyway. Numa Gale.
You're fresh out of luck.
To get Balthus. To the fray? I don't think I can heal Edelgard from here. It's incredibly unlikely. So I'm not even going to try. But I can get Dimitri down here fast.
Think this through.
Acknowledge my contribution!
Remember, pay attention to where your units are at all times on this. Also, if you have to heal, use your potions. With Linhardt as your only healer, it's sometimes better to use a concoction or vulnerary than to do nothing at all. Lucked out. Oh.
Never underestimate an outsider. Thanks.
I lost Constance. Gotta rewind that decision process.
Sally forth.
Sure thing.
Think this through.
Who, me?
Ready and willing.
And I lose Dimitri. Give him a heal, and he should be all A-okay.
Ready and willing.
Sally forth.
This is exactly what I mean when I say that things can be difficult, and this can be time-consuming because you're constantly watching your decisions, wondering whether you're making the right one. Oh, Dimitri's just as weak as he was before. I may lose him again.
Well, they're blo-
Ready and willing.
Sally forth.
Let's see if I lose any. Yep. I just end up losing more people.
Sally forth.
see if I can turn the tides a little with some bolting.
Leave yourself prepared. I shall rise, but your day is past. Bye.
Looking good.
Ready and willing.
And it worked.
You never had a chance. I will. Over already.
I'm stronger than I look, yeah? Strong.
And everyone manages to survive.
Sure thing.
Now Yuri does have Nosferatu, which helps against armored units, but his magic is not particularly strong. So don't rely on him too much.
That's what you get.
Acknowledge my contribution.
It was a good try.
Take down that archer.
Use caution.
Take down that mounted mercenary.
Who's next?
Got lucky because he was on a void tile.
Be at 'em.
With this, should be able to
Weather
take
the
him out.
storm, huh?
And that's the mission finished because I don't have to fight the Death Knight. And that is the ambush and the arena battle. It's going to be very long because you've got a lot of enemies to fight, but if you keep your units bunched up together, make some good moves, don't forget to use all the techniques that are available to you. In this case, as you saw, I just needed to use Constance's bolting to get everyone to survive. But otherwise, the only difficult part of this mission is that it's long.
Boss, that's the last of them.
I'm actually going to stop this right here. And thank you so much for watching. That was the ambush and the arena walkthrough. If you like this video, please do subscribe. There will be more videos like this in the future. But until then, I will keep subscribe if you're interested. And I hope to see you in my next video, which will cover the third battle.